Maria Celeste worried about her aging father. As the convent's apothecary, she prepared a medication for him, hoping to shield him from infection.
Put your faith in this remedy, sire. It is held together with honey. Take it once every morning in a dose about the size of a walnut, followed by a taste of Greek wine. The Magistry of Health claims it provides a marvelous defense. Please use every possible precaution to protect yourself from the danger.
Washing linens in boiling vinegar was seen to provide a measure of defense, although no one knew the reason why. The sisters' cloistered isolation became a benefit, and the infection passed them by. The next spring, the epidemic had subsided enough to permit limited communication with the rest of Italy. For months, Galileo heard nothing from the Roman censors. Had his manuscript been lost in quarantine? Had his work been stolen? The Florentine censor had endorsed the book, but Galileo needed the approval of Rome.
The father told me more than once that tears came into his eyes when he was reading. And he acknowledged that I should be begged to publish such a book. Meanwhile, it sits in the corner, and my life wastes away. I only want to know, while I'm still alive, what is the outcome of all my hard work?
While Galileo waited, the copies of his dialogue were quietly passed among powerful Roman churchmen. But curiously, Galileo's great admirer, the Pope, may not have actually read it. Instead, Urban VIII heard rumors that Galileo had put his words into the mouth of a fool. Rumors that Galileo had not written a scientific discourse, but a literary satire.
What Galileo's doing is writing a work of great literature. He wrote it as a dialogue so that it would be both a scientific and a literary work, and is expecting that this most cultured, cosmopolitan, and progressive of popes will appreciate it, forgetting probably temporarily that in the end of this beautiful rhetorical production, there's a rather grievous insult.
At the very end, he puts the words of the Pope in the mouth of the simpleton, that if God wanted to make the universe some other way, any other way, but make it appear to us the way it does now, he could have. And therefore, none of these arguments about whether the sun is the center or whether the earth is the center can be definitive.
Years earlier, when he had strolled through the Vatican gardens with Galileo, the Pope had made the very same argument, saying that the works of God can be beyond human understanding.
Urban's advisors persuaded him that he had been the model for Simplicio and that he was being made a fool.
Urban took a very angry view of the book, and the two never spoke again.
The Pope convened a special commission to look at the Galileo case, to look at the manuscript, and that commission recommended a process by the Inquisition.
The Inquisition served a paper on Galileo, ordering him to appear in Rome the coming October. The old man tried to delay his trip by claiming ill health. By Christmas, Galileo was again ordered to appear. He could come voluntarily, or he could come in chains. As he arranged to leave Florence, Galileo's daughter sought to prepare him for his ordeal.
Father, I beseech you not to grasp the knife of these current troubles by its sharp edge, but rather, seizing it by the blunt side, use it to cut out all the imperfections you may recognize in yourself and arrive at an awareness of the vanity and fallacy of all earthly things.
In Rome, Galileo again could see the Vatican from the windows of the Tuscan embassy. But for months, his summons to the Inquisition did not appear. His trial order finally arrived in April. Like most such proceedings, Galileo's was conducted with strict formality and perfect civility.
Galileo, son of the late Vincenzo Galilei, Florentine, 70 years of age, sworn to testify the truth. Galileo Galilei, by what means and how long ago did you come to Rome?
I came to Rome on the first Sunday in Lent, in a litter.
State whether you know or can guess at the reason that you were ordered to come.
I imagine that I was ordered to present myself before the Holy Office to give an account of my recently printed book.
State whether, if you were shown the said book, you would recognize it as yours?
I hope so. Yeah, if I was shown it, I hope I would recognize it.
There was shown to him a book printed at Florence in the year 1632 with the title Dialogue by Galileo Galilei, etc. And when he had looked at it and inspected it, he said, "I know this book very well, and I acknowledge it as mine. And I acknowledge all it contains as having been written by me."
The Inquisition limited the trial to two simple questions of fact. Did the late Cardinal Bellarmine forbid Galileo to advocate Copernicus when the two faced each other 16 years earlier? And had Galileo violated the cardinal's injunction by writing his dialogue?
Let Galileo state what the most eminent Cardinal Bellarmine told him about the decision of the Holy Congregation of the Index on a certain day in the year 1616.
The Lord Cardinal Bellarmine informed me that the opinion of the stability of the sun and the motion of the earth was deemed to be repugnant to Holy Scripture. I believe the Cardinal notified me that it was possible to hold the opinion hypothetically, as Copernicus did.
Can Galileo explain what is in his book, which he imagines was the reason for the order that he appear before us?
Well, when I was writing the dialogue, I did not do so because I held that the doctrine of Copernicus was true. Instead, I set forth the astronomical reasons that could be advanced on either side of the debate. I tried to show that neither side of the argument has conclusive force to favor one opinion over the other. I do not now hold, and since the determination of Cardinal Bellarmine, I have not held the condemned opinion.
All who read the dialogue could see that the defense of Copernicus was by far the stronger argument in the book. The character Simplicio, mouthing the words of Urban VIII, was really more satire than science. Galileo was forced into a position of false humility, and humility was never his style.
With